it's hard to improve once you start to get, it's not like you start pitching at 5 feet and you go to 4. Like, that's still a huge improvement, but you're not going to see those big gains. But that was really, really, really good improvement. And I think a lot of it comes from just being just a little bit more aware of what it takes to be really good and hold yourself to a little bit higher standard. So one of the things I tell my guys all the time is you're as good as whatever you'll tolerate. So if you're okay pitching the ball 10 feet or 12 feet or whatever, like, that's how good a player you're going to be. All right. So if you're always trying to increase those thresholds, that's a better way to learn. So when you're in this situation, you come to JJ and then you say, all right, well, JJ, on my pitching, I'm averaging 9 feet. Can you take a look at my pitching? So JJ takes a look at your pitching and he makes a couple recommendations. They might not even be technique recommendations. They might be, hey, why don't you really focus on your landing spot? Or why don't we focus on your trajectory? Or why don't we focus on, hey, creating a little bit more spin through better contact? That's really how you learn. As opposed to JJ saying, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. If you come to him with the problem that you want to solve, you're infinitely going to be better at creating solutions to those problems. Does that make sense? When JJ has to come to you and say, hey, you know what, I think you need to work on your full swing, or I think you need to work on this, then you're not as bought into wanting to make that change. So what I would encourage you guys when you go to get a lesson, be proactive in the lesson and say, hey, listen, this is what I want out of this lesson. This is what I want to get better at. This is what I've been doing in my practice, and I see that this is, an area that I've got room for improvement. Does that make sense? That way you can solve that problem. Because JJ is not always with you, and whoever you work with is not always with you. They see you for a brief moment in time, and as a player, it's your responsibility to get the most out of that time.
Do you have your players track their stats, track their practices?
So what I'll tell you,
leave notes on their, whatever app you guys use, whether it's Blast Connect or Coach Now, so that you can review it and then you can help them strategize. Because I think your opinion will be skewed based on your emotions.
Absolutely.
But all that stuff is something a coach who's not emotional can look at and talk you through. But if you're not doing the baseline test, you're not doing the stats, then we're just kind of spinning our wheels.
So it's a little more simple in our environment because the standard we use is a PJ Tour. Like if you come to our program, like, we expect you to be progressing on trying to become a tour player. So the standard is very cut and dry. So if we're doing a drill like this, it's going to be 5% of the given distance. That's always our rule of thumb. An above average tour shot is within 5% of the given distance. So if you're hitting a 30-foot chip shot, all right, 5% of that's 1.5 feet. So that's our standard for a 30-foot chip shot. And that 5% transcends through the game. Now, you guys are developing players, so it's not fair for me to say, hey, 5% is what's good for you guys. All right, because you're going to hit some shots within that 5%. And that's not a bad way to start. Say, how many shots out of 20 can I hit within 5%? But what we're doing right now is actually looking at what your current skill sets are and advancing those skill sets incrementally. So you get to the point to where maybe that 5% is what you can work off of. And what I tell our guys is if you can't quantify it, if you can't count it, if you don't document it, you didn't do it. Because in us building a player-coach relationship, if there's no information coming from them, I don't know what they've done.
It's like showing up to class and you didn't document your homework, but you did in your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How many teachers?
But that's what every golfer does, and they don't. It's the same correlation.
How many teachers let that fly? Hey, where's your homework? Well, I did it, but it's not here.
But I know how to do that.
But I know how to do it. I'm really good at it, actually. Actually, I'm great at it.
I got every single one right.
Never miss. You guys have any teachers that let that fly? So, I always tell guys, don't tell me how good you are. Show me. For sure. It's a better indicator. Anybody got any questions? You taking calculus?
No, not yet.
Pre-calculus?
Yes.
So you're telling me you've taken pre-calculus and you can't tell me 5% of a given distance?
Nope. Been out of school too long.
So I'm going to show you a trick. All right. Now it doesn't matter if you're using feet or yards, but you just have to stay the same. All right. So like I said, a 30-foot chip shot. If I move the decimal from on the 30, if I move it 1, that gives me 3 feet. All right, that's 10% of the given distance, right? All right, now if I cut that in half, 1.5. So if I cut it in half and then double it, then what do I have? I'm back to 3. That's right. That was a trick question. Does everybody understand that? So you move the decimal place 1. So if I've got 100 yards, what's 5% of 100 yards? You guys are slow on this. 5 yards.
She said 5.
Oh, you did?
5.
I didn't hear anybody say it.